Step number 1. Supports rule for feature detection. The supports rule in CSS is a powerful tool that allows you to check if a browser supports a certain CSS feature before applying it. By using this rule, you can provide fallback styles for browsers that don't support the feature, ensuring a better user experience for everyone. In this example, I've created a simple div with a class box. The supports rule checks if the browser supports the display grid property. If it does, the div will use a grid layout, centering the text inside it and changing the background color to light blue. If the browser doesn't support grid, it will fall back to the default styles with a light gray background. This helps you ensure that your layout looks good across different browsers, even if they don't support newer CSS features. Step number 2. Using text shadows for 3D text effects. This property in CSS can be used not just for adding shadows but also for creating cool 3D text effects. This is simple yet effective way to make your text stand out on a web page without using any images or complex graphics. In this example, I've used the text shadow property to create a layered 3D effect on the text. By stacking multiple shadows with different offsets and colors, you can make the text look like it's popping out of the screen. Tip number 3. Clip path for complex shapes. This CSS feature allows you to clip an element into a complex shape like a circle, polygon, or custom route. Instead of using typical rectangular shapes, you may easily create unique layouts that attract attention. In this example, I've used the clip path property to create a diamond-shaped element. In this case, the shape is made up of 4 points. The result is a blue diamond shape that stands out against a dark background. This technique can be applied to any element, allowing you to create custom shapes for images, buttons, or sections without relying on images or complex SVGs. Step number 4. Minimum, maximum, and clamp functions. The minimum, maximum, and clamp functions in CSS are powerful tools for making your designs more flexible and responsive. These functions allow you to set values that adapt to different screen sizes, ensuring your design looks good on any device. They give you control over how large or small elements can get, making it easier to create a consistent user experience. In this example, I used the clamp function to make the box and text responsive. The box width is set to a minimum of 200 pixels, preferred 50%, and maximum 600 pixels. So it adjusts based on a screen size. The font size also uses clamp to stay between 1 rem and 2 rem. Scaling with the viewport. This ensures everything looks good on any device. Step number 5. CSS Grid for masonry layout. CSS Grid can be used to create masonry style layouts, which are great for displaying items of varying sizes in a visually appealing way. This technique allows for dynamic layouts without relying on JavaScript. In this example, I've used CSS Grid to create a masonry layout for displaying items. The Grid template columns property sets a column that automatically adjusts to the content width, creating a staggered effect. The Grid auto rows property ensures that items with varying heights fit nicely without gaps. The result is a grid where items of different sizes are arranged in a visually pleasing masonry style layout, making efficient use of space. Step number 6. Advanced grid layouts with grid template areas. This property allows you to create complex grid layouts in a simple way. It lets you define named areas for each part of your layout. This makes it easy to arrange items in a grid without needing to worry about exact positioning. In this example, I've used grid template areas to define a layout with a header, sidebar, main content area, and footer. The grid template areas property makes it easy to see how each part of the layout is arranged. The result is a clean and structured layout where each section is clearly defined and positioned. Step number 7. Backdrop pseudo element for models. The backdrop pseudo element is used to style the area behind a model dialog. This is useful for creating a dimming effect or adding background color to focus attention on the model itself. It makes your model pop out more and improves the user experience by highlighting the content. In this example, I've added the backdrop pseudo element to style the background behind the model. The backdrop has a semi-transparent black color which dims the area outside the model. When the model is open, it becomes more visible and the background is dimmed to focus on the model content. Tip number 8. Keyframes with steps for stop motion effects. The steps function in keyframes is used to create a stop motion effect in animation. This function breaks the animation into distinct steps, which makes the transition appear more like a series of still frames rather than a smooth animation. It's great for creating animations that look like they are jumping from one frame to the next, similar to a flipbook. In this example, the steps 4 function in the keyframes animation creates a stop motion effect by changing the color of the box in 4 distinct steps. This makes the color transitions appear as if they are jumping from one color to another rather than blending smoothly. This technique can be used to give a more dynamic and playful feel to your animations. Tip number 9. Filter property for image effect. The filter property in CSS lets you apply various visual effects to images. You can use it to add things like blur, brightness, contrast, and more. This is useful for enhancing images without needing extra graphic software. It's a quick way to create stylish effects directly in your CSS. In this example, the filter property is used to make the image grayscale, apply a blur effect, and adjust the brightness. The grayscale 100% makes the image black and white, blur 4 pixels adds a blur, and brightness 100% dims the image a bit. This combination of effects can make your images look more dynamic and visually interesting. Tip number 10. Background clip for creative background effects. The background clip property in CSS is used to control how background images or colors are clipped within an element. It can create cool visual effects by specifying whether the background extends to the border, padding, or content area. In this example, background clip content box makes the background gradient visible only within the content area of the element, not extended into the padding or border. This creates a visually appealing effect where the background stops at the padding, allowing the border color to stand out. This property can add a stylish touch to elements, giving you more control over how backgrounds are displayed.